Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week. You subscribed already, so you know that halfway through we stopped for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. You liked it, so we spun it off. We're at 147. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out asking for questions. Once we gather our questions, we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Hi guys, love your show. Thank you. Which would you choose between the Envista Avenir and Kia Seltos EX Premium? I drive a 10-plus-year-old Honda Civic Hybrid, which serves me just fine, but I'd like to upgrade to a subcompact that feels more upscale, has more trunk space, and is affordable. I'm in Southern Ontario, Canada, and front-wheel drive is fine for me. I do commute for work, and I'd like to lease for now. Would appreciate your thoughts and input.
Oh, I was on Automotive News. This was the U.S. Numbers. The Buick Envista sales were up over 280%.
Yep.
Think about that. Up over 280%. This thing is caught on with buyers. So if you're not aware, it's the cousin to the Chevrolet Trax. And we had the Trax in our top 10 list last year, and we didn't put the Buick on because we didn't want to have basically the same car on twice. But anyway, the Trax, I absolutely love it. I'm all down for the Envista. Lease it, enjoy it, huge trunk, you're good.
The Envista looks great for sure. I think it's a better exterior design than the Seltos. Between those trims, they're both priced about the same, just over $36,500 Canadian. The Envista has got the 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder. It has a 6-speed automatic transmission. The Kia has a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a CVT. You'll find that the Kia has more horsepower than the Envista, but the Envista has more torque. So what we found with the Envista is that it was actually had a lot of pep to it. That get up and go is very good. And the cabin was extremely quiet, which surprised us. Now, if you're looking at features you're going to get...
Let me guess. The Seltos has more features.
You're going to get more in the Seltos. Ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a power passenger seat. These things the Envista doesn't have. So it's really what's important to you. I also believe that the fuel economy numbers will be more accurate on the Seltos.
I'm trying to remember, did Envista have a power lift gate? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think it had a power lift gate.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're just looking at a feature set, I think Seltos is going to definitely trump that one, but I liked it. I like the Envista. And if you want to go for a real value, you could get a fully loaded Trax, which is the cousin vehicle. And we found that the interior layout and the materials used was a little bit nicer in the Buick, but not a lot nicer.
Not a lot nicer. And I think both of them look great exterior design wise. Which one would you choose if you're choosing between a turbo V6 MDX or a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder hybrid RX 500H? Price, reliability, and options. Consider getting an SUV for a family, but we are split on which to pick. Love your show, a local Vancouverite viewer. Well, there is a difference between the two. If you're looking for fuel economy, obviously the RX is going to be a better option. The MDX has lackluster fuel economy. It doesn't matter who you talk to who owns an MDX, they're going to tell you the same thing. As for reliability, the MDX has had issues, and I pulled some consumer reports. The RX has an overall score of 83 out of 100, and the MDX 68 out of 100.
Okay, so you're going for the most powerful RX 500H, which is turbocharged and it has the hybrid system, not to be confused with the 2.5-liter regular 350 hybrid. So if you're just looking at performance and fuel economy, then the RX is going to be the winner.
Yeah, and the RX 500H starts at just over $85,500 in Canada, and then the MDX, it starts at $68,000. It goes up to $90,600 for that Type S that has 355 horsepower. But the combined power of that RX 500H is 367 horsepower.
We're going to throw a dark horse in here, Andrea. What vehicle did we just take back this morning? The Lincoln Aviator. So we think that the Aviator is is, well, not exactly the same as the MDX Type S, but kind of on the same playing field. Both of them have 3-liter turbocharged V6 engines. MDX has standard air suspension, but available in the Aviator. Both of them are 3-row SUVs of a similar size, MDX a little bit bigger. But we were very, very impressed with the Lincoln. Sounds like you're in the Asian car market silo, because once you're in that sort of, I gotta have a Japanese vehicle, you might not even consider an American car.
And then my other question to you is, do you need the space? The MDX is a lot bigger than the RX. It also has that 3rd row. So I'm not sure. For me, personally, I don't need a 3rd row, so it would be the RX 500H. I think that powertrain is fantastic. Looking at a 2025 Lexus TX 350. I've been loyal to the brand for 20 years. Is it a good buy? Can I get a better deal from the dealer versus the Costco program?
Well, I don't know anything about the Costco program. I think what you get is like $1,000 off or something, $500. Listen, just save your money and go to the Toyota store and get the fully loaded Grand Highlander. That's the one you want.
Hybrid Max.
It's the Hybrid Max. That's just the better overall choice, period.
Yeah, I agree too. Why would you get the TX? I understand you want a Lexus. I get it. Maybe the Lexus badge. But when you start looking at the interior, for example, of the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max, it's very similar to that 350.
It's the same car.
However, this is what I'm hearing from viewers. The Grand Highlander is so difficult to get. The TX is available.
Yeah, because they're charging a huge price premium for the Lexus, which is essentially the same car and feature set. Like, if put your name on a list and get the Grand, plus the Grand Highlander and the TX both had stop sales for several months last year. But the smart money's on the Grand Highlander.
Hello from New Westminster. Thank you for the great car reviews. Thank you. Any news when you will get to test the Acura ADX? I spoke with my local dealership and they expect the first ADX to arrive end of February, early March. So I'm surprised it hasn't been tested yet by any car reviewers. So we did reach out actually to both the Canadian PR team and the American PR team. Apparently on the US side, it's going to be arriving in the press fleet shortly, so Americans will be able to drive it. Didn't hear back at the time of filming from the Acura PR team in Canada, so I'm not even really sure when the ADX is going to arrive for us to drive. What do you guys think of the 2025 Tundra? I got a 2025 Tundra Limited 4x4 Crew Max. I compared my truck to the Sierra 1500 Elevation. My current truck felt like a better value compared to the Sierra. Sierra was lacking cooled seats, panoramic roof, LED taillights. I wanted the diesel engine, but I only commute 2 miles one way. You think Toyota has improved? By year 3 on the generation, no buyer's remorse. I'm loving the truck very much.
Well, you know when you're going to be happiest is when you go to sell that thing. You know, they spit out those Sierras like chiclets. So, spitting chiclets, if you know, you know. There's just way more of them made. And the Toyota, there's not the sure, it's a volume vehicle, but nothing like the Sierra. And the only thing is, Andrea, the diesel. They don't have that at Toyota, but it sounds like have you got the V6 or have you got the hybrid? I'm not sure.
It just says the limited 4x4. I can't remember
that sounds like
if it was the hybrid.
That sounds like the 3.4 liter twin turbo. I say enjoy it. You've got a nice truck.
You know what? Reliability for sure. It's got to get better for the Tundra. Boy, did it ever have a rough start, which I think surprised a lot of people because we're used to Toyota being very reliable. But the Tundra was a new truck back then. From what I read online, people are saying, look, if you buy the later 2024 model year, the 2025 model year, it's much improved. And we even have people online that are saying, look, I owned a Sierra, but it wasn't that reliable. So I moved to the Tundra and it's been great.
Okay, so the number one issue around that engine is that, well, it's the same engine they use also for the hybrid, is that they have to replace, they're doing a recall and replacing 100,000, that's a lot of them, 100,000 engines because of a manufacturing fault when they machined the internal components of the engine. Not all of the material was taken out, and then it got into the oil system, and then catastrophic failures. So Toyota is going to replace all of those engines under recall or warranty. I'm not sure if it's a recall. It's a recall, yeah. So that's one thing. We have a colleague who lives in the East, and he was one of the very first people to get one. And he drove it for a year, and he says, I cannot wait to get rid of this truck.
Yeah.
It rattles nonstop. He just thought that the build quality was not very good, but he was a first-year owner, and he says, I can't wait to get back into, I think he wanted like a, I think it was a Chevrolet or GMC.
I thought he said an F-150.
It might have been it, but he wanted a heavy-duty truck with a diesel engine, back to what you were talking about. And that's the ace in the hole that General Motors has, is they still have a diesel. All of the other, well, no, Ram has a diesel as well. But yeah, you know, that's the thing. That diesel is, the Duramax is good.
And the rattles and squeaks in that early edition, that's what I hear online. Oh my gosh, the brakes, the rattles, the cheap materials. They just weren't happy with it.
Put it this way. It drove him to the point where he's getting rid of it to get another vehicle because of the noise. So if yours is fine, and I hope it is, and you're liking it.
Sounds like it is.
But if you're only
Sounds
driving
great.
2 miles a day,
I know.
you could ride your bike.
Your show makes my day. Oh my goodness. Don't get us started on all the vehicles we own and
How little
much
we drive
driving
them.
we do. Your show makes my day. Thank you. Mazda CX-50 hybrids are starting to appear on dealer lots. The inventory in my area is actually quite good. The Hyundai and Kia dealers also have hybrids for sale. However, finding a Toyota RAV4 hybrid or Corolla Cross hybrid is nearly impossible. If Toyota continues to struggle with demand for hybrids, do you think that car buyers will start defecting from the brand? I'm going to have to. If I shop for a vehicle, I need it today, not months from now.
But you can have your cake and eat it too with this, Andrea. Because if the CX-50 hybrids are available, it's got the RAV4 powertrain in it.
It does. Hybrid system and engine. So why don't you just get a CX-50? By the way, Mazdas are very reliable. Yes, some of the newer.
It's a first year.
I would still be okay with that one.
So,
with that powertrain?
Like I've said about anything new with a small company like that, is that there's going to be, I don't know, but there might be teething, like it's integration. Like you're taking a Toyota RAV4 hybrid powertrain and you're putting it in a CX-50. It could all be perfect, but we just don't know. Here's the answer to your question. Are people going to defect? Well, they might in the short term, but in the long run, Toyota, we haven't had an official announcement from there yet, but we're reading the tea leaves, is moving to a hybrid only for RAV4.
Yeah.
They have a battery facility that's coming online in the United States to produce the batteries in volume that they're going to need to supply the #1 selling vehicle in North America, north and south of the border in Canada and the US for passenger vehicles. So when you take all of the gas models that they sell now out of production and you replace them with hybrid only, there's going to be more RAV4 hybrids.
Listen, Zach brings up Mazda reliability and, oh, it's a new vehicle. But let me tell you, Honda and Toyota haven't been stellar on their new vehicle. Exactly. There is no manufacturer that is perfect in this department. When you bring out a new vehicle, of course, there could be issues. You know, Mazda has a proven track record on their CX-5, for example, and their CX-30, and the MX-5 has been reliable. But some of their new models that have come out, like the CX-90 and the CX-70, have had some issues. But we see it with Honda as well. There's been recalls on the CR-V and the Civic, sticky steering, fuel injector. I don't think any manufacturer is perfect. If you feel uncomfortable at any time buying a first-year model year, wait it out the year and see if they can iron out any kinks, if there are any.
And if you're waiting it out a year, RAV4 hybrid is going to be available.
Looking to purchase a 2025 Forester, what are your thoughts on buying the extended warranty? It's about $2,700 for 4 extra years on top of the manufacturing's 3 years. Is it worth it? Sales manager selling it with some scare tactics. That replacement for UI screens, cameras, etc. are in the thousands. Any thoughts? Wow.
One thing you got to remember is that warranty can be negotiable, right? It's like they're saying, oh, it's $2,700, but you should say, I'm interested. If you sell it to me for $1,500, I'm all ears, and you'd be surprised. It might not come down to $1,500, but it probably will come down. What do you think?
4 years isn't bad, actually. $2,700. I think that's what, $650 or around there a year. That's not bad for an extra 4 years. The Forester is a new vehicle. Screens can be a problem, but look, we've never purchased the extended warranty on a vehicle that we've bought.
Did you just jinx it, Andrea?
But everybody is different, and so some viewers feel that they can sleep at night if they get the extended warranty, and I think that this isn't actually a bad price.
Come back at them and say, that's a little too steep. If you could get it to me for less money, like Andrew's right, $2,700 doesn't sound bad for 4 years. This car, when it came out of its what they call comprehensive warranty, that's kind of the old bumper to bumper warranty that they had for 4 years. They said it was $5,000.
Yes.
For 2 years. And I said, and do you know what I did? It was $5,000 for 2 years. And you know what I did? I went, bye-bye. And I thought,
that's way
I'll
too
take
much
my
money.
chances.
Yeah.
So $2,700, see if you can get it for less.
Hey, Andrea and Zach, surely enjoy watching your content as it's very informative and relevant. 2 questions. I currently own a fully loaded 2018 Hyundai Elantra GT in brackets i30 base trim, and I'm looking to trade it in for something new and sporty with all the creature comforts, great handling, and a premium audio system. Something that shares similar dimensions with the i30. Not a fan of big SUVs.
I was going to say a GTI until the stereo came in. That's a bummer. So you like something like an Elantra GT or the i30. i30 was the European car, and that vehicle was only sold for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So what would you say?
Something fun,
like a comfortable, good stereo.
You know what? Well, the GLI
it's not a hatchback,
comfortable. Though. No, it's not a hatch. Did he say? Yeah, I guess if he wants something. I don't know if he wants necessarily a hatchback. I know that's what he's driving, but it doesn't mean that there aren't that many hatchbacks. I was going to say something from Mazda, but their vehicles aren't that large. The Mazda 3 sedan is better than the hatchback, the Mazda 3 Sport. But, I mean, you could go for a Civic, like an SI or a Type R.
Yeah, no, I think you can just go, listen, you can go for a fun-to-drive car with good power, good space, stereo's not bad, great cargo space, is the Civic hatchback hybrid. Because you get 200 horsepower out of the hybrid, plus you're going to eke out incredible fuel economy. That's why we chose it for our car of the year, is because it has the efficiency, but it's also fun to drive. It doesn't drive like a boring hybrid. It actually is kind of sporty and spirited. So you want a hatchback with good space. The stereo you'd have to try out on your own to see whether you like it. And then the answer is always GTI.
Or how about the Acura Integra? That's a favorite of mine.
Yeah,
really like that.
That's a lot spendier.
Very spacious. Maybe he's got a few extra bucks because he's had it since 2018. But if not, you could go for that. What did you think? What about the K4?
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. For that kind of money, like we talked about with the K4, if you get the 1.6 turbo and you get it equipped with all the nice stuff to make it an independent rear suspension, and then you get the more powerful engine and all that kind of stuff, you can just get a Civic hybrid. 200 horsepower, great fuel economy. You get to have your cake and eat it too. Try it out. You'll be very surprised.
Try it out. And also, I want you to try out the Integra if you've got the budget for it.
Just get a GTI. The stereo?
No.
Not that great.
Not in the GTI. And that's it for us. If you want to get a question in, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.